Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of the Cheri Roldan Show, where we spend 30 or so, today longer than 30, more like 45 minutes a week having conversations that matter to the entrepreneur's body, mind, and business. I'm your host, Cheri Roldan, and I'm a wife, a mother, a runner, a best-selling author, a personal growth junkie, a product launch Wonder Woman, and your total business BFF. And BFF stands for, of course, best friend forever. And I fancy myself an intuitive business muse, which means that I help entrepreneurs to find their niche, create an offer that genuinely serves them, and launch it online in a way that resonates authentically and profitably. We make it fast, fun, and easy to add more value to what you're already doing, as well as multiple streams of income to your business model. So if this sounds like something that you needed like yesterday, here's what I encourage you to do. I'm actually not offering strategy sessions in the month of May, but I want you to go to cheriroldan.com/ebook, download my free ebook. It's called Get Where You're Going, Girlfriend, 6 Steps to Actually Achieving Your Outrageous Goals. And by the time you work yourself through those 6 steps, you'll be ready to schedule a strategy session, and I will be ready to have one with you. So let's do that. Okay, as many of you know, I created the Cheri Roldan Show because I have stumbled, and I continue to, on my entrepreneurial journey, because the road to success thus far has been full of potholes, detours, and dead ends, not to mention self-doubt, fear, worry, marital tension, and personal struggle. And I wanted to share what I continue to learn on my journey in the hopes that it will help you guys too. Because online entrepreneurhood can be a really lonely place. And I'm on a mission to help us connect. And today, which is the first Wednesday of the month, is a really, really special day on the Cheri Roldan Show. And that's why it's a little bit longer episode than usual, because it is special series time. So I'm going to share my screen with you, which always takes me way longer than maybe it should. But I'm sharing my screen with you because guess who's back? That's right. It's Cindia Carrere. We are on the entrepreneurial journey to wealthy through the chakras with Cindia Carrere. And we are going to be, let's see if I can make this. I'm like not really tech savvy today. Okay, here we go. We are going to be in the 3rd chakra today. So wealthy, as you see, is an acronym, and it stands for women and worth, entrepreneur, abundance, love, trust your gut, health and happiness, and yes. And so today we are in the 3rd chakra. Since we started from the bottom with yes, we went to health and happiness, and now we are in the 3rd chakra, the trust your gut chakra. So I'm going to hit stop so you can see me again. But yes, we're in the 3rd chakra today of the entrepreneurial journey to wealthy through the chakras. And I'm so, so, so excited to have my business BFF, Cindia Carrere, here again today. I want to just read to you what I wrote in the show description for those of you who haven't read it, because it sort of frames the entire conversation that we're having. But I do want to let you guys know that if you missed episode 1 or episode 2, I have links of them in the show description, but I'm also going to start a playlist on my YouTube channel where I'll just put all of these shows together. So that'll be a much easier way for you to find them all. But here's the deal. I believe that humanity is awakening and that the planet is in the middle of an energetic shift, that we're coming into a model of wholeness and integration. We're starting to feel individually, but the shift is collective. Women and men are coming into alignment with divine feminine energy, and this is changing the way we do business. And I know so many of you are feeling this already. And it's not just us who are on this journey. This is what Cindia taught me, is that entrepreneurship itself is on a journey, that business itself is seeking alignment with truth. How cool is that? And that means that in order to reach our full potential as humans and as entrepreneurs, we must come into energetic alignment with the call of our soul, because our businesses are no longer just a way to earn money. They are a response to our awakening, to our soul's calling. They're part of the unfolding of our purposes. And so many of you who I talk to are saying this, and that's why this is so exciting. So if this is resonating with you, hang on to your seats, people, because Cindia is here. Cindia Carrere is she's an intuitive for entrepreneurs. She's the founder of HealYourGrid.com. If you haven't watched episode 1 and 2, she is so uniquely gifted as an intuitive. She has a really cool gift that'll probably make her explain one more time, where she can actually see people's energy grids, the horizontal and vertical lines of energy, and pinpoint our blockages so that we can help them remove it. She can help us remove them, and how cool is that? Okay, so I think I've probably said enough, and it's time for me to switch my screen that I'm looking at, put Cindia on the screen, and just say hello and welcome back, Cindia.
Hi, Carrie. Thank you so much for having me here.
You are so welcome. So I told you I was going to do this before the show. Oh, and I should probably check in to see who's here with us live today. Looks like Monica is here. Hey, Monica. Marcus is here. Dana is here. Gail is here. Yeah, she's here. So guys, hello. Thank you so much for being here live and joining the conversation. As per usual, I did not load Comment Tracker, but I will be watching your comments. So tell us how this is resonating with you. But Cindia, let's just start with a quick recap. So can you take us back through the first and second chakras and maybe tell everyone what you told me in the green room about the third chakra?
Yes, well, first, I love your word horizontical. I think I want to incorporate that because that fits. So the journey to wealthy through the chakras, we started with the yes energy. And if you're watching here today, you probably have had that tug on your soul. You may have gone through a period of time where you were in a soul-sucking job or some kind of situation, and now something's got you by the scruff of the neck and it's saying, get out there, share your message, step into something larger. And so you're either contemplating saying yes or you've actually said yes. And as Carrie and I talked about before, it's great that you say yes one time, but sometimes you have to keep saying yes over and over and over again because the challenges can come up. And what Carrie was referring to earlier, that entrepreneurship is going through a journey, is that it's becoming a spiritual practice. A lot of people cannot separate the calling of their soul and their spirits anymore from business. It's no longer just a separation. And so when people have challenges in their business, I like to say spiritual practice, because it forces us to get in alignment. So I'm going to pause for a minute, Carrie, because I could just keep talking about this.
No, so just holy crap, that was a big one for me. I appreciate the holy crap moments on my show, but yeah, yes, I hadn't thought of it that way, that our businesses, I wrote entrepreneurship and a little arrow to spiritual practice. And it's just so funny, right? Because I wrote a whole book on how to turn your daily run into a spiritual practice, which is, at the time, running was sort of my job. I was a coach. And now that I am, not that I don't run anymore, but like focusing much more time and energy on the business side of my business, I can totally see that. Yes. Spiritual practice, spiritual practice.
Spiritual practice. So we started out with the first chakra, which is the root chakra. And that's the first place that our feet touch the earth. It's our souls. So this whole thing is talking about wholeness from soul to soul, from the bottom of our feet to the top of our crown, that we want to get our energy so aligned that it's just easy to make money rather than it being so stressful. And it's not that we're not going to have some challenges along the way, but the paradigm is shifting from money has to be hard to make, money is a struggle, to getting so clean and clear that we are attracting our ideal clients and how we want to do our business because we are so passionate and connected. Does that make sense to you, Carrie?
Oh my gosh, yes. And yes, that's all I have to say is yes. I think that's happening. It's just every single person who I've been talking to lately, right? And I'm sure it's part of who I'm attracting, but I think it just speaks to the larger thing, right? That to me, and this might get us off topic a little bit, so you have to bring me back in, Cindia. I'm putting that on you. But I think about like the economic collapse and just things that have happened in our world that have forced people into entrepreneurship, but that those things that forced them in were also, it was an opportunity for them to do what they had always wanted to do, right? They had always like dreamed of doing, and that's, I don't know if that's exactly what you were talking about, but that's what hit me when you were talking.
Yes. So we're saying yes. We don't even know what the journey looks like. We don't know what it looks like, but we're saying yes in faith. Okay. So then the first chakra is where we pick up beliefs about our origins, who we are, what we make those things mean about ourselves, and we pick up the money beliefs of the people that we were raised by. And then the second chakra is about creativity, and where one becomes two and two becomes three. That's our sexual area and pregnancy. And the third chakra is the solar plexus. And as money itself is following entrepreneurship and going from the lower chakras where it has been held and made for centuries in the lower vibrational areas, it is literally making the journey itself and going into the heart. That's why we're having so many heart-centered entrepreneurs, so many soul purpose-driven entrepreneurs. So the journey, this is so important, and Carrie and I are both just like, woo, about this particular one, because this is where money is traversing. It's raising its own vibration through us. We're raising its vibration. It's going through our power chakra. So the third chakra, the solar plexus, is about our own relationship with ourselves. We've already had the one with our family. We've had the one with our lovers and the children, and now this is about us. So the third chakra is in between the creativity and money and the heart. So there is a big chasm here, and it has to cross your personal power to get to the heart. And it's about opening the pathways all the way up. So any clutter, any painful memories, it's like holding a beach ball. Have you ever tried to hold a beach ball underwater, Carrie?
Yes, not only hold it underwater, but ride it. That is always my challenge with the beach ball.
So it takes a lot of energy, right? I mean, for a ball full of air, it takes a lot of energy to suppress it under the water. So that's the way it is, too, with the issues with the power chakra, is that we're trying to suppress a lot of stuff, and as that money is coming up, it is creating situations where we need to deal, where it's coming up to be healed, so that we don't have to be spending all of our energy holding that under the water anymore. We can just surrender and be ourselves.
Okay, so I'm gonna, I just want to stop and ask, well, I want to stop for two reasons. So I want to stop for one reason to tell you that I forgot to tell you in the beginning that Cindia and I have been cooking up something super exciting and fun, and we can't wait to tell you about it, so make sure that you hang around until the end of the show because we're going to tell you about it. The second thing that I am thinking is, you guys, if this is not making sense to you, or if it's confusing or what, please let us know in the comments, because we do want to make sure that we're speaking your language. And I know we're talking about some, to me, it feels really cool, but some intangibles. And so if you need clarification, please ask so that we can address that. But so here's where my clarification point comes in, Cindia, is, okay, first chakra I wrote down is money beliefs that we get from our family of origin, like from our parents. Second chakra is creativity, and I don't quite get money and the second chakra, except that I'm thinking like I want to earn money from things that I create, right? Instead of like, I don't know, like stuffing envelopes, say. I want to earn money from something that is coming from my own creative juices. But then the third chakra, here's what I wrote down. I wrote down chasm and personal power. And I know, of course, what I write down is telling. And I'm going to tell everyone that the first time I worked with Cindia and she was looking at my energy grid, she didn't find blockages in my third chakra. She found like gaping holes, or a big gaping hole. So that word chasm just stuck out for me, because I definitely felt that in my own self. But thinking about women entrepreneurs and thinking about scratch that. Forget women entrepreneurs. Thinking about money, I'm feeling like, okay, so it gets to my third chakra, right? It's moving up. I want to make money from my personal power, but I feel that chasm. I think so many of us do, right? So many people are feeling powerless to earn money based on themselves, based on who they are. Is that what we're talking about in the third chakra?
Yes. So let me just go back for a minute. The second chakra is where the person goes out into the world and starts making their own living. So the first chakra is where they absorb and witness, like a sponge, the beliefs from the adults around them. Okay? And then the second chakra is when a person goes out into the world, maybe as a teenager, young 20s, they're meeting partners, they're experimenting sexually, they're getting their jobs. That's what the second chakra stuff is about. The third chakra is about our personal relationship with ourself, okay? And this is where feelings of approval, permission, worthiness, deserving, it gets held in here, okay? And so we have intuition in our crown chakra and our visionary. There's intuition in all of them, and there's power in all of them. But there's something about trusting your gut that, help me out, Carrie. You were talking about it earlier. When you were talking about holding your stomach and everything. I mean, this is like.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, well, I'm going to tell you two things. Actually, I want to click over real fast, make sure. Look at the comments. So Monica says surrender and be ourselves. Yes, I am working on that big time, especially the surrender part. So she was quoting you, Cindia. So Monica, we're glad that's helpful. But so I'm just going to bear all, you guys, and tell you all about my third chakra stuff and hope that it resonates and that it's helping you. So one of the things that I've noticed about my third chakra and just about paying attention to my own body is this wanting in myself to keep that place in me safe. For instance, when I'm watching a scary movie, or just even recently, I've had several friends who have had people in their families be hit by cars, actually. And both times I felt like compression in my heart and in my power chakra. Like I wanted to protect myself in those places from the blow, from that energetic blow. And so at least for me, there is this wanting, when things are scary on the outside, there's a wanting to protect that particular chakra. Is that what you were asking me to address, Cindia?
Yes, you had mentioned that earlier, and then I just happened to be reading Amy Tan, The 100 Secret Senses, with the yellow cover, and I thought it was so interesting in time with this show. It says the stomach is where your true feelings are. Yeah. So we have our heart, our message center, which is so important, but there's something here that we hold ourselves, we rub our tummies. There's just something here that is so personal, and we want to protect it and keep it safe. That's exactly right. And especially if people are experiencing blockages, or, as we know can happen, actual missing energy from that space. That's why we often eat a lot, or people eat, drink, the whole area there to insulate, to fill us up.
Okay, so let's talk trusting your gut for a second, because that is the thing, right, that we hear about entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs. And it's I can't remember who I was having a conversation this week, but even like super high power executives, right? So people who maybe aren't entrepreneurs, but they're like, I don't know, high level executives in big companies. They talk about how the secret, right, their edge in their business, their edge in the way that they work, comes down to instinct, right, or trusting their gut. And there are so many of us who are here watching who are I had a conversation with someone this week who said, I help intuitive entrepreneurs. And I said, do you help intuitive entrepreneurs or do you help entrepreneurs who happen to be intuitive? And she was like, oh yeah, there's a difference. And I'm not even sure I can articulate the difference, but I can feel the difference because I happen to be intuitive. So what I'm getting at is this, can we trust our gut? How do we trust our gut if we're also so full of fear, anxiety, worry, lack, and do we carry all of that in our third chakra?
Great question. So I have a friend, just from what you were saying, he owns his own company, and he would kind of laugh with me about, intuition and stuff, and he wouldn't buy into that, but he always uses the phrase, he trusts his gut. Okay, so I find that interesting. So that's, for him, it's a very safe thing. He just has this blink response, and he's had an extremely successful business for years, and he always makes decisions based on a very quick response, whether it jives here or not. And if a person has a history of listening and acting on it and things end up being okay, they trust it. I'm sure we can all think of times where we got some kind of prompting or nudge or had a visceral response to somebody, but we overrode it in our mind, like, oh, I need to be polite to this person or something, and it turns out it was a disaster because we didn't trust our spidey sense. So if you have a history that you know in your body what that means, when the message comes in that this is safe or that's not safe, then you can keep cultivating that. But sometimes we get a little bit mixed up and we start to use our head, and we want to put what seems logic into everything and override it. So that may be what you're talking about.
Yes, it definitely is for me. I want to address, there's some comments that I want to address, but I also want to tell you guys, I'm one of those people who loves taking the personality assessments, and I've done the Myers-Briggs like 1,000 times since I was in junior high or high school, and every time, it's actually, interestingly, some of my scores have changed over the years, but the one that since I was young, right, since I was forever, is you get a letter, and one of them is intuition versus judgment, which basically means trusting your gut or trusting like reasoning. And every time I took that test, I was 100% intuitive. Like on the scale, it was like I make all my decisions based on no logic at all. I make all my decisions based on intuition. And yet, I think that I judge that as not a good way to make decisions. Like I think there's a part of me that maybe there's some third chakra stuff, maybe the fact that I had a whole huge gaping hole there, but there's some stuff in me that judges making, in the past I should say, has judged making decisions based on intuition as like not a very practical or responsible or upstanding thing to do. So Cindia, do you want to chime in on that, or would you like me to read the comments?
Oh, if the comments are interesting, let's read those first.
Okay, so here's what people are saying. Marcus says, I can definitely see what you mean. Like a lot of people, I have doubts when it comes to doing what I love. They're coming in too fast, and I'm they're leaving my screen. Using my creativity and then coming to the point where I have to charge money for that. Like, is it good enough? Oh, Marcus, if you've been watching my show, you know. You know. I hear you, brother. Isn't that too easy to charge anything for, right? It's the idea of honoring your gifts. So I'm going to read a few, and then you can decide which one you want to respond to, or if you want to respond to all of them. And then Dana also says, I definitely feel it in my stomach too when I'm nervous, scared, happy, or excited. I also kind of feel excitement. Flutter upwards toward my head. Not sure if that relates to the chakras or not, or what that means. And then Dana also says, could the ability to trust your gut be influenced by your family's money stories? So now there's 3 things for you to address, Cindia. Pick one.
Well, the first one is about charging what you're worth, and that's clearing all those deserving stories of not enoughness, or I don't deserve, or that's what I led with. If it feels too easy, that's the paradigm we're here to help shift. I'm here to help it. Carrie, you are, and anybody watching this, and the people who are on replay. The whole point is to start shifting and clearing that energy. Why? How does this make sense? We're going to get paid for things that we hate. We're going to get paid for things that are hard. I mean, how many people have you heard or seen that are inept at their job, right? But they get paid for it. So we're okay with people getting paid for stuff that doesn't come naturally, doesn't come easily, are slow, difficult, challenging. Sure, why not? But if it's easy and it's our gift and we love it and it makes us happy, maybe we should suffer a little bit more, right?
It sounds so, I mean, when you say it that way, it makes such sense. But it is, I hear Marcus, you guys who watch me know regularly, this has been a big struggle of mine, because it is, we are trained that work should be work, right? That our work in the world, or maybe that our purpose and what we do for money are not exactly the same thing. And that's what's cool. That's what we're talking about, is that we're seeing more and more and more soul-centered, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. But that means we're all on this freaking journey together. We're all on this journey of healing all of our stuff, healing our grids. Go ahead, Cindy. I see you wanting to.
So I get excited about this topic, and I wasn't in any way making fun of Marcus. Please, I was talking about the story that we were handed. That's all it is a story. That if it's hard work, then it's okay for you to get paid. If you're suffering, that's okay. But if you enjoy it, then there's something wrong. And that's what I'm responding to societally, culturally, because I believe we're at a point where we can actually make that shift. I mean, would you rather encounter somebody who loves their job and is passionate about it and is really good at it, or would you rather encounter somebody that's like, I hate my job and I don't, you're here and I just have to do it because I'm paid? That's not the energy that we want to share and put out in the world, right? And so I am all about people getting paid what they're worth, charging what they're worth, being really clear about that. So ultimately, people can get paid for doing what they love, what their natural gift is. So I'm very passionate about that.
So here's what I'm hearing right now is, this is something, as you know, that I've been feeling, right? And there's this huge, maybe this is what if I just had this epiphany? What if this is the third chakra chasm? And maybe you already know this, but right, is there's those of us, we are those awakening entrepreneurs. We are those people who are literally no longer willing to go back to our soul-sucking jobs. Or even my job wasn't really all that soul-sucking. It wasn't the fullness of me. Like, I was called to something more. I was called to something bigger. I was called to something that like filled me differently, and quite frankly was a little bit scary. And then there's the gurus. There's these people out there saying, okay, get paid for what you're worth and create this job, make a job for yourself and create this business where every day is a joy, and we buy those programs and we're walking ourselves through those steps, but they're not about our alignment, right? They're all about really practical steps, really tangible steps. And what I see is so many people struggling, and what I now know is energetically, but just struggling to implement those steps to get from, I don't want to do this soul-sucking job anymore, and I see that I could create, there is a way to create a life where I'm paid really well just to do what is like fun and easy and enjoyable to me, but I'm stuck here in this chasm. Is that what we're talking about?
That's definitely part of it. And I want to say, there was a question about, is it possible that we're picking up our beliefs from our family of origin or whatever? I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Those stories, that's what gets into the ancestral clearing stuff, the generational healing. It comes in spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. It's in our bodies, it's in our DNA, and we're here at this time to clear it and shift it for not only ourselves, but our children and the people who are coming after us. So we are literally mid-evolution, mid-adaptation. Clients finally just feel like this relief when I describe. It's like we have one gill and one fin and one lung and one leg and one wing. We're not fully anything yet, because we've got part of ourselves still feels like it has to be difficult to earn money, and the other part of us knows that something is happening, and so we are mid-shift. Okay, so please be patient with yourself. Please be kind and caring to yourself and to others, because we'll look back on this time and go, wasn't that hilarious when I had like 3 different body parts that I was working with?
Well, it was sure hilarious when I envisioned it. It took me a second. Ooh, sorry, I'm looking at the comments. I didn't mean to suddenly shift on you, but that's what I sometimes do. So Dave Moore, thank you for your quote again, because Dave he gave me this quote a week ago, I think, when we were talking about charging what you're worth, and he said, if you think an expert like me is expensive, just wait until you hire an amateur. And yet I think, oh my gosh, that's what so many of us are doing, right? When I like to say in like the corporate world, you get promoted to your level of incompetency. Like you're good at what you do, and so then you get promoted into something that you're not good at and you hate. And that is what, yeah, that's when you're hiring an amateur, Dave. And then Marcus says, yep, it's a belief that we somehow get through our society, at least until now, and something we have to work on, clearly talking about work being hard. But Margarita, who I love this woman's perspective always, and she says, it's a great discussion about suffering more. I have been through this problem. I always engaged in working hard. So your point about focusing on enjoyment and being paid, Cindia Carrere, this needs to be discussed. And so this might be a good time, Cindia, to do 2 things, because we haven't really in this particular episode talked about the work you do with people. And then we want to talk about what we're creating for everybody. And yeah, so let's start there with the work that you do with people, your work in the world, and sort of the awesome and amazing way you came by that.
Well, it was truly an amazing day. It started out like every other day pretty much did, and within a half an hour, I had received a divine download that has changed my entire perspective, my life, everything. I was given the gift to be able to see, perceive, experience, feel, understand the energy grid, which is our horizontal lines of energy and light. It's our skeleton of our energy system. Things that are in the physical world reflect what's in the invisible realm, and so we have a skeleton, and then we have muscles holding it in place, and then we have skin, and our energy system also has a skeleton, and it's the grid. It's the coordinates of the map, longitude and latitude of our whole systems, and it's what connects us to each other. The planet has one, animals have one. It was just this amazing download that gave me so much information, and it is my mission now, my purpose, to be able to serve others and to use this gift to be able to pinpoint. I mean, I can go right in and I'm shown where people have blockages that are preventing them from the energy from moving, where they have gaps and missing grid. And it's almost like we get to go up in a helicopter together and look over the LA traffic scene to see where things are congested, where things are running smoothly, where there's construction. And it's the same way with our whole energy field. It's not just where everything is just running perfectly and smooth. There's some traffic jams and all kinds of stuff. So when anybody has a story or ancestral clearings or past life stuff or whatever, however that you interpret that, I can go in there with you and just help light it up, find it, we can clear it out, and then we fill it in with something that's much more useful.
And I love that you just said something that's much more useful. Like, yes, 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 and more yes, you guys. And one of the things that Cindia didn't mention, but it bears mentioning, right? She's talking about looking at the traffic and seeing the blockages. And really working with Cindia is like, she goes, oh, I see that blockage. Here, let's just pick up that accident and put it over there. And now it's not there anymore, and things can flow smoothly. Or like you can picture maybe blood vessels the same way, like, oh, yeah, that, you look at your artery, it's like practically clogged. I'll just scrape it out and take the stuff there, and now look, the blood can flow smoothly. And don't you feel better? And isn't your everything functioning more easily now? That's literally what it's like working with Cindia. But the thing that you didn't mention, Cindia, is when I'm looking over the traffic and I see, and I think this is just really hitting me because we're in the third chakra today, and you see it's not just a traffic jam, there's like an explosion, and there's a bridge missing, or there's, and it's like, well, no wonder. And again, it's within one session, she's like, oh, well, let's just build a bridge. And boom, and I don't know if this is making sense or resonating with you, but I'm telling you, and especially, I don't think that you're her live here, but Cheri, you and I were talking about this, and so if you haven't yet contacted Cindia, you just have to. It's so interesting and enlightening working with Cindia. So Cindia, before we tell everybody what we've been cooking up together, if someone's been watching this show and is just now like, ooh, I need to work with this woman because I need her to pick up that traffic jam, how can people do that?
Oh, well, you just contact me at Cindia, C-I-N-D-I-A, at healyourgrid.com. And you can say, saw you on Carrie's show, and what do we do next? And I can email you and talk to you about
Perfect.
it.
And I'm putting that in the comment section right now, but you do have an intake form, right? You do. I just want to make sure you explain to everyone, just because they email you doesn't mean they are automatically, go ahead and tell that story.
Thank you. Yeah, I send you to an application form, and that gets me a little more acquainted with you, and we have a little dialogue, and then if it looks like it makes sense for us to work together, we'll set up an appointment that we can chat, and then we decide what sessions that you want to do.
And here's why I think it's important to say that, is because Cindia's doing her work in the world and doing it from joy and from service. And it's been my pleasure to know Cindia for a while, and to know, and those of you who watch the other episodes, you hear me talk about her. When I close my eyes and think of Cindia, I think of the word integrity. And it just comes down to, it's not, I think so many people have come up against work like this, a lot of intangible stuff, and think that, oh, these people are just looking for your money. I promise you she's not, because she's kind of picky about who she works with. It has to feel good for both of you, and Cindia has to know that she can serve you, and she knows that intuitively, I'm guessing, through the intake form. Did I do you justice there, Cindia?
You did great, and I can tell you've been working with me long enough that you're just like getting that language, and you're talking about you need a bridge, and get the accident out, the trauma out. Let's heal all that. So that was really great, Carrie. Thank you.
You are so welcome. So now I'm going to check the comments one more time, and then I want to tell people what we've got going on. Oh, so Dave said something worth mentioning here. He says, I was talking about doing what feels easy, right? And he said, when you think what you do is easy, you need to realize that it isn't easy. It's just that you are very capable at what you do. And so, Dave, I want you to know that that is resonating so much with me, and I really appreciate you saying that out loud. And I didn't realize I was kind of going to get misty-eyed and goosebumps in hearing that, but know that you writing that was really, really important to me, and hopefully to a lot of people who are watching, because that is so true. It's just easy for me because I'm super capable at it, because it is my zone of genius and it is my gift. But you're right, what I do isn't easy. It's not easy for the people who come to me and who are willing to pay me for it. That's why they're willing to pay me for it. And likewise, Cindia, right? If I could see my own blocks, I wouldn't be calling her. It's joyful and it's fun and it's easy for her. But you're right, it's because she's very capable at what she does. So I so appreciate you saying that. And here is what we've got cooking for you. So Cindia and I have been working on something. Our juices have been flowing. We've got this really, really fun idea for you. And we just decided that the best way to really, we're trying to figure out like, how do we get this message out? How do we reach a lot of people? And we just decided the best way to do it is to do it now and to do a training for you. So we're not going to stop going through the chakras because this is such an important conversation. But enough people have been like asking for more now that we want to stop, and not stop, I should say, but we want to go. We want to move now on something that we've been talking about for kind of a while. So here's the thing, right? Lisa Ingalls used to talk about her show in the beginning of her Power of Practice show. She used to use a quote that I think she got from Wallace Wattles that is, it's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. And really, that's what I've found that working with Cindia helps me do, is get into the energetic way that I want to be in. So what we've done is we've created a 90-minute free training, and we are calling it The Way, 3 simple steps to joyful productivity and playful abundance. And we're doing it's a 90-minute free training. It's on May 19th. And here's what we're going to do on that call or on that webinar. It's a hangout. So here's what we're going to do on that hangout. We're going to show you how to quickly and easily change your body pH to immediately neutralize stress and foster clarity and creativity. We're going to reveal how to create new neural pathways so you can think different. I always do this because that's just a whole Steve Jobs thing for me. But basically rewire yourself for abundance and time freedom. And lastly, help you tap into your intuition for guidance and inspiration. But that actually isn't last, because the big thing that we're going to be doing on that call, and when I say we, I mean mostly Cindia, is an energy clearing to remove blocks that might be holding you back from what you want to create. So to get that, you're going to want to head on over to cindiacarrere.com/register, and I'll put that in the comment section too. But Cindia, anything more you want to say on that?
I'm just excited about it and looking forward to it, and I have so many thoughts going through my mind about it right now that actually just trying to capture one, it's a little hard to do at this moment, because I can see and I know what you and I have been talking about and planning, but most importantly, it's continuing the dialogue and really bringing forward about the deserving and clearing that area so that we can really just get on to doing the capable work, doing what we're really good at and using our gifts to serve others. And as each one of us steps out and does our job using our gifts and getting paid for it, and then honoring and paying others for what they do, we are literally shifting the energy for others. So it is a collective journey made up of individuals. So I really am looking forward to helping do a group clearing and to help people love what they do and get paid for it.
And so here's what I'm finding is, and like how this sort of came about, is that I'm the business BFF, right? And what lights me up, what makes me feel good and joyous and just awesome is helping people who are saying that they're having all these struggles. And what I can see in somebody's business, right, I can so clearly see, oh, well, here's the path to get there, and here's the product, and here's how you can market it. And like I'm quick with the languaging and the marketing side of things. And also I seem to have this ability to intuit what their target market is feeling. Like I'm able to put myself in the other people's shoes. But with client after client after client after client, I've been seeing, oh, this person, they're not getting there because there's some sort of blockages. There's some sort of something, right, that's stuck in the way. And I'm like, oh, this person really needs to work with Cindia. And so what the beauty of this little training that we're doing is just that it feels to me like puzzle pieces coming together. Like I'm a piece of the puzzle. I'm this business BFF energy of like best friend, lock arms, come on, let's do this together. And Cindia is this like beautiful, clearing, energetic space of like, that's great, you two. Before you can do it together, we need to move some of that stuff out. And so that's sort of where this came from, is like, let's join forces and let's bring it. Let's get all of these heart-centered entrepreneurs, right? These people who are going through this journey with it. There are so many of us. And let's lock arms and let's get together in one space. And I don't know if I've said that well, but that's what I was feeling. Put you back on.
Very well said.
Okay, well, so we are at exactly 45 minutes now, so any parting words?
Thank you, and I love your gift of words. I sit in awe and being, quote, jealous in all the right ways of how beautiful the words just flow in and out of you, and I love that about you, and it's one of the reasons I so love working with you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so on that note, you guys, we are at our 45 minutes, which is what we promised at the beginning. So I'm just going to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you, you guys, like the Cindia, who doesn't spend a whole ton of time on Google+, you should know the people who attended this hangout are some like Google+ energetic power players, which is just interesting and exciting, because what that is telling me is that this conversation is so resonating. It's so important. It's so important for those of us who are the awakening and enlightened entrepreneurs and who are on this journey through the chakras together and with entrepreneurship. I don't know about you guys, but it feels really good to me to know it's not just me. It's entrepreneurship itself. And no wonder I'm feeling this, because the energy of entrepreneurship is going through a shift, and that I happen to be someone who is highly sensitive and highly intuitive and attuned to that shift. So that is a really good reason for you guys all to join us. So don't forget to go to cindiacarrere.com/register so that you can sign up for our free training on the 19th. And on that note, you guys, here's a great big virtual hug for me. Thank you so, so much for being here, for engaging, for bringing your awesome energy with you. And don't forget to come back every Wednesday for the regular old Cheri Roldan show, where I have amazing guests each week talking about topics that are important to us awakening entrepreneurs. So for the Entrepreneurial Journey to Wealthy, we'll see you the first Wednesday of next month. And for everybody else, we'll see you next week. Talk to you later, guys.